Hi guys, my name is Laura and welcome to this new YouTube video. Today we're doing a yin yoga flow, a very slow flow. So thank you for joining me, and let's begin in a seated position. Slowly, gently closing your eyes, placing your hands on top of your knees, and taking a moment here to stay still and to breathe deeply. Be grateful for where you are at this moment in your life, but also at this present moment on your yoga mat. Setting an intention for your day, maybe thinking about one specific word or a feeling you want to have during the day. On an inhale, think about this word or feeling. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart center. Namaste. Thank you for joining me in this flow, and let's start in a child's pose. You can do a different variation of the child's pose. I like to extend my fingertips here to make it a deeper stretch in my shoulders and arms. But you can also choose to leave your hands behind you, next to your legs, or maybe behind your back. You can also choose to do a wide-legged child's pose. Just go with the flow and do whatever feels right for you. Taking a couple of deep breaths here and really relaxing into the pose. Slowly coming out of the child's pose, and we're coming into our all fours position, tabletop pose. And we're gonna make some cat and cow movements. So on an inhale, you arch your spine looking up, and on an exhale, round your spine, look to your navel. And try to sync your breath with the movement here, following your own lead in this cat and cow flow. Coming back, laying on our mat, on our belly, and we're coming into our swings pose. So that means you're laying on your elbows, as you can see, and here we're doing a gentle back bend, and it's important to roll your shoulders open and to the back so that you can breathe freely and you have an open chest and optimal stretch in your back. Looking up, and of course don't forget to breathe here. Slowly pushing ourselves up into a high cobra and then to the snail pose. Here we're gonna flow between these two poses. So snail pose, your knees tucked in and your knees stay away from the mat so you don't place them on the mat, and the high cobra for a back stretch. So this movement feels very nice in your shoulders and your back, and it really engages your whole body, so a complete wake-up call for your body. And then on the last one, we're gonna stay in our downward facing dog. Slowly walk it out with your feet here, really pressing into the palms of your hands, spreading the fingertips wide so that you can press evenly into your hands. Trying to send those heels to the mat, but if they don't touch the mat, that's completely fine. Your hips are sending upwards, and you create space between your ears and your shoulders by opening the shoulders and pressing your chest towards your knees. It doesn't have to look like this, of course. Every variation of the pose is perfectly fine. Slowly lowering down onto our knees, and your right leg comes in the front for a lizard pose. You can go onto your elbows for a deeper stretch, or you can stay leaning on your hands for a less intense stretch. And from the lizard, we're going into a half split, which means you straighten your front leg, your knee is completely straight, and you lean forward so that you feel a good deep stretch in your hamstring. And gently shoveling over that right leg to the side so that you can come into your pigeon pose. And you can decide to stay up here or go down for a sleeping swan. This will be a more intense stretch for your side leg, your hamstring. Releasing the pose, and as another deeper relaxation, coming into a child's pose again. This time I like to do it wide-legged, so my knees are mat width apart and my hands are extended to the front, really sinking into those hips and having deep inhalations and exhalations. Slowly coming out of the child's pose, and then of course we're gonna do the same on the other side. So left leg comes to the front now. We're going into this lizard pose. So you can either choose to stay supported by your hands or come down on your elbows for a deeper stretch. Then again into the half split, so straightening that front leg. The knee is completely straight and you lean forward. You try to reach with your hands for your foot and you relax your head on top of your leg around your knee. And then slowly again bring that left foot to the right side of the mat so that you can come into your pigeon pose. Either stay here or lower down to your sleeping swan for a more intense stretch. If you have any blocks or pillows at home, you can support yourself by putting a block underneath your hip. This time your left hip, so that you lift it up so that your hips are parallel to each other. Coming back up again, and we're going into our puppy pose or melting heart. So you extend your hands to the top of the mat and you melt your heart or your chin to the mat so that you lift your hips up again, but this time your knees stay on the mat. This is a very nice and deep stretch for the back and the shoulders. And coming back onto our tabletop pose. On an inhale, lift your right arm up into the sky. Exhale, thread the needle. And here you can choose to extend your hand to the top of your mat or take a bind behind you. Whatever feels right for you today. And just being here in this pose, breathing deeply, relaxing and enjoying the stretch. Pushing yourself back up again, extending that right arm one more time, and then same on the left side. Thread the needle, and again you can choose to put your hand behind your back or extend it to the top of the mat. Coming back up again, extend the left arm to the top, and we're coming into a seated position. This is the shoelace pose. So you bend your one leg over the other for a deep stretch, side stretch of the legs. And on inhale, bring your hands up, and on the exhale, we're gonna take a spinal twist. So when your right leg is on top, you twist to the left side. And then here I have a little trick to turn around to the other side. So you just straighten your legs and then you walk yourself to the other side. But if it's a bit too complicated for you, you can of course just choose to go out of the pose and back into the other one. So now the left leg is on top and we twist to the right side. Taking one more deep breath here and then releasing the pose. Releasing the legs and opening them up to the corners of your mat. Coming into a wide-legged forward fold. Trying to go as deep as you can, but here again you can place pillows underneath your body so that you can really relax into the pose. But this is a very nice deep stretch for when you wake up in the morning. Pushing ourselves back up again, and we're coming into our last stretch of the day. This is one of my favorite poses that I do every day. On an inhale, bring your hands up. Exhale, forward fold. This stretch is so good for all the parts of your body, for your hamstrings, for your shoulders. You can choose to bind your arms underneath your knees for a less intense version, or you can put a pillow underneath your knees. Or you can try to reach forward to your feet. Maybe interlace your fingers behind your feet if you can. And here I just try to be as present as I can. That's what I really like about this pose. There's nothing around you you can see, you can't hear anything. You're completely in your own zone. So that's really nice. So every exhale, try to sink a little bit deeper. And we're slowly gonna walk our hands back up again. Coming into a cross-legged position. On an inhale, bring your hands up. On an exhale, hands to the heart center. Namaste. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this deep stretching flow as much as I did. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and maybe leave a comment below if you have any recommendations for other yoga flows. And then for now, I hope you have a lovely day and I see you in the next one. Bye bye. Namaste.